Today we're going over the most important things that you need to know so that you can succeed as a beginner in Rainbow Six Siege. Just learning the basics of R6 is extremely difficult, but I'm going to simplify that process today by making the complex things a lot easier to understand. Starting out with the 75 unique operators in Rainbow Six. Yeah. It's a lot. In other games, these might be called agents or champions. Each of these operators has a primary and secondary weapon, as well as a primary and secondary gadget. The secondary gadgets are shared amongst all of the operators, while the primary gadget is specific and unique to each of the operators in the game. A few of them share the same weapons, and a lot of them share the same secondary gadgets. With the game having 75 operators, you might be asking yourself, how am I supposed to learn all these characters? And who the hell am I supposed to play? Here's my pro tip. Don't even think about that yet. I'm gonna dramatically simplify that process later on in the video. All you need to learn right now is the core mechanics of the game and the basics of how it works. The first thing you need to know is that half of these characters are attackers and the other half are defenders. The concept of the game is simple. There are two bombs that the defenders are trying to set off. The clock at the top of the screen is how much time is left before the bombs go off, winning the round for the defenders. Meanwhile, the attackers are trying to get into the building and defuse the bombs by entering the objective room and planting the defuse kit. If they run out of time, they lose, but if they manage to get into the bomb site and plant the diffuser, there's a 45-second window for the defenders to retake and try to defuse the diffuser. I know, they kept it real simple with this one. If one team kills all the players on the other team before the clock runs out, they win the round. This might sound complicated, but it's actually just search and destroy from Call of Duty with way more strategy and a ton of abilities. So let's start with defense. On defense, there's a few things that you want to try and achieve within a round. During the 45-second preparation phase before the round starts, you want to fortify the bomb site by reinforcing walls and placing down your utility. Your utility is just a broad term for any gadgets and tools that your operator has. The goal throughout the round as a defender is to make it more difficult for the attack to enter the bomb site by using your various traps, gadgets, and of course your guns. Don't put that in. This is why positioning and team play is a very large part of the game, because you can't defend an entire building all by yourself. Defenders also have access to default cameras, which are pre-positioned around each map and can be used to gather a ton of information, but we'll talk more about those later. Once you switch sides and end up on attack, things only change a little bit. The attacker's primary and secondary gadgets are completely different from the defenders, and instead of default cameras, they have access to an extra gadget called drones. Drones are your main source of information as an attacker. During the prep phase, you're able to use one of your drones to drone out the building, find out what operators the defenders are bringing, and figure out where the bomb site is. Setting your drones up in sneaky spots is another great option during this time, so you can use it later on in the round. When you spawn in, every attacker now has a second drone, which you can use at any point during the round, along with your first one if it hasn't been destroyed already, to gather more information. Drones are very, very useful and very important as well. Plus, every single attacker has them, meaning it is well worth your time to learn how to use them properly. Your goal throughout the round as an attacker is to get into the building safely and work your way into the bomb site without running out of time. This is made a whole lot easier by opening new entrances into the map and destroying the defender's utility and cameras. Using secondary gadgets like grenades is great for breaking defender utility, but it can also be done with primary operator abilities, which we'll talk more about later. The most important thing you need to understand right now is the maps and how they actually work. This will help you understand the game much better before diving into the operators and figuring out who you want to play. Maps in R6 are very simple, while also being extremely complex. There are some insane angles, and you will just die to ridiculous things for a long time when you first start out, which is why learning the maps faster will make your time a lot easier playing the game. Each map is made up of 5 things: walls, floors, doorways, windows, and hatches. We're gonna cover each of them so you know what's going on. If you see walls or floors with marble, brick, or cement textures on them, they're indestructible. But if not, impacts, grenades, even shotguns can blast right through them, along with some unique operator abilities. Did I also mention that you can shoot through walls to kill other players? No? Did I also mention those same rules apply to floors and ceilings? No? Weird. Okay, well, it's not all that bad. After all, as a defender, you can just reinforce the walls to keep you protected from all the things I just mentioned. Unless the attackers have a hard breach. In which case, fuck. Because of how much protection they provide, placing reinforcements during the prep phase is super important. But you don't want to accidentally give the attackers an advantage by putting them in the wrong spots. And be sure to watch your toes. While it is true that floors can't be destroyed entirely, it will still give the attackers lines of sight on your cheeks. And they will take every chance they can get to blast your cheeks. Protect your cheeks! By the way, this is what we call vertical destruction, and it can be used to clear out rooms from above or below. But that's not really beginner friendly, so let's just move away from vertical destruction and talk about doorways and windows. Doorways and windows are more than just that, okay? They're also specific locations that you can interact with by either barricading or using specific operator abilities. Kapkan is an operator that can only place his traps on doorways and windows, and the same thing applies to operators like Castle and Aruni. Exterior doors and windows come pre-barricaded, which is a great indicator of where the outside of the map meets the inside. And lastly, all the maps have hatches. These are square outline spots on upper floors and roofs. Players use them for rotating to lower levels, and I say players because either side can use them. As a defender, you could reinforce the indoor hatches to improve your defense, or you could just open it up and use it as an escape route. Actually, speaking of indoors, you do know that as a defender, you should stay indoors at all times, right? I mean, you can go outside for like a couple seconds to get a quick kill if the run out is available, but otherwise just stay inside. Honestly, just don't even go outside. You can do that later. You can do that way later in your game. You don't need to think about that right now. And that one last final component of the maps is, of course, the default cameras. You know, those little black and white ones that sit up in the corners of rooms and are pre-positioned around all the maps. They're actually really useful and can help you learn the maps a lot quicker. Even the highest ranked players in the game use these cameras all the time. You know what else they use? Aim angle. And if you want to get better at the game, you got to start using the right angles in the right spots on the right maps. And the best way to practice this is to start playing the target drill, which can be found in the map training playlist. This mode allows you to select any map and play it endlessly. Well, not actually, they cap it at an hour for some reason. Doing this, you'll learn common defender locations, you'll understand the flow and layout of the map better, and you can pick any operator, allowing you to practice their guns at the same time. And if you want an extra little trick to learn the maps even quicker, play Buck. His ability is top tier for breaching both walls and floors, and you'll be able to do this as you move throughout the rooms of the map. This will further speed up your process of learning the maps by understanding what walls and floors lead to where and how the rooms are all interconnected. Speaking of rooms, your compass shows you exactly what room you're in as soon as you enter it. You might want to practice checking that as well so you can learn the callouts. Are you still thinking Rainbow Six is easy? Because we haven't even started talking about strategy yet. Oh yeah, and did you forget that this is a first-person shooter? Aim is kind of a big deal here too. Shooting people is the biggest component of this entire game, and if you can't shoot back, it is not gonna be good. So how do you improve your aim? Slow down, big boy. Before we talk about your aim, we gotta start with your controls. More specifically, adjusting your mouse sensitivity. And if you're playing on controller, good luck! I did make an entire video dedicated to the best settings for 2025, but for the purposes of this video, let's just focus on the basics. Firstly, stick to Q and E for leaning. The last thing you want to do is be clicking the side buttons of your mouse while you're focused on aiming during a gunfight. This is going to completely throw your aim off. So you just sit back and listen to Daddy for right now. Okay. For your side mouse buttons, it's honestly just all preference. I personally like to do secondary gadget for one of them and crouch on the other. But again, feel free to do whatever you like. Just no lean. And if you're on a controller, leave it all on default. You're gonna be fine. But if it's one thing you never leave on default, it's your sensitivity. I really wish I could just give you one setting that works for everyone, but I honestly can't. A great way to start is just copy from your favorite YouTuber. or pro and then adjust from there. That's honestly the only tip I can give you when it comes to sensitivity. At the end of the day, you just set it on whatever works best for you. Do keep in mind, however, a lot of pros keep their sensitivity a lot lower, so you might want to lean towards the low sensitivity in the long run. A really good way to tell if your sensitivity is too high is by reviewing your gameplay. If you notice your crosshair visibly shaking as you're trying to aim, yeah, your sensitivity is just a little too high, pal, okay? Oh, by the way, we're just talking about sensitivity, the controls, not your aim. That's a whole different ball game, boys. I'm talking about tracking, flicking, recoil control, and most importantly, map knowledge and crosshair placement. You thought we were done with the maps? This is Rainbow Six Siege, motherfucker. Maps are everything. What, you think just having good aim is enough in this game? It won't be if you don't know where to point that big gun of yours. Luckily for you, I have the perfect aim routine that you can use every time you warm up for the game or just to practice. It only takes 5 minutes, and believe me when I tell you, it is a lifesaver. It's also one of 10 other tips in this video if you want to get better aim. Subscribe. With that being said, it's finally time to start talking about the essentials, baby. Nothing too crazy, just the different types of playstyles, positioning, droning. Oh, and yeah, we're finally gonna get into the operators as well. You ready? Let's go. Defender prep phase. Set up the bomb site and prepare for the attackers. Keep your eyes open for drones to take out as you set up, because remember, the attackers are gonna be droning out the map during this time. Connect the bomb sites together with either a shotgun or impact grenades for better map rotation and flow. Set up your reinforcements and place your gadgets down according to the playstyle that you're going for. There's 3 main types of playstyles on defense: anchoring, roaming, and something in between, which I like to call an extension. Anchoring is sitting directly on the bomb site, stopping the defenders from rushing in. You are the anchor of the defense, holding down the bomb site. On an extension, you're going to extend the bomb site, just out by a room or two. This gives you more space around the map and another layer that the attackers have to break through before getting to the bomb site. Good luck on that, by the way. Lower ranks suck at doing this. Finally, we have roaming, aka traveling off the bomb site to the various rooms around the map, catching the attackers off guard and clapping their cheeks. Guess what all 3 of those playstyles require? Good map knowledge. Anchoring is going to be really good against passive attackers and very uncoordinated teams. This can be done with any of the operators, but some might be better choices than others. My personal recommendation for a beginner anchor operator is Melusi. She's a trap operator, and her ability is great for slowing down any attackers who enter the radius of her gadget. This can provide you with lots of information around the bomb site and a better anchor. She also happens to be on my list for the top 10 beginner operators for 2025. In this video, I go more in depth on who to play, how to play them, and why, if you're more interested on learning specific operators after this video. Next up, we have our extensions, which are great for a stronger sight hold overall. Remember, the worst thing for a defense is having attackers pressuring from every single angle. Extending out in multiple areas stops them from getting these crossfires that just completely screw your team over. Just keep in mind that you can only really extend into one area on your own, leaving the rest up to your teammates. An extension setup like this is going to be especially strong with an operator like Legion, whose ability feeds you tons of information while having a really good gun to back it up. Again, we got some more info on Legion in the beginner ops video. Lastly, roaming. Best used for enemies who don't drone well and attack way too fast. Don't forget to check the default cameras. There's a reason that I mentioned them in the video. They're great if you know what you're doing. So when the round starts, check them, see where the attackers spawn in, and rotate to that side of the map to catch them early. But if your team is under fire from a direct take, rotate back to the site immediately. Otherwise, you're really doing nothing at all, and you might as well just be dead. Also remember, you're not roaming for kills, you're roaming to waste time. So you want to shoot drones, confuse the attackers, and stop them from taking the map for free. That's all. That's it. We're done with defense. Moving on to attack. First things first, use those drones to find the defenders and the weak points in their setup. You'll then want to formulate a plan to use those weak points to your advantage. Most bomb sites can be broken down into different takes from opposite sides. defense. Choose one of these areas that you want to push and then pick an operator who's best suited for the job. Ace and Striker are two operators that are great for any attack on any bomb site. To start, they both have the best weapons in the game. Ace's gadget is a hard breaching tool called Selma's that opens up reinforced walls quicker and safer than all the other operators. Striker, on the other hand, can pick two of any of the attacking secondary gadgets, which is great for learning the various roles that the attackers have. Just remember that no matter what operator you play, the fundamentals of the game will always be the same. Droning, checking corners, crosshair placement, and clearing one room at a time. This is another reason why I recommend Nomad for newer players. For ability, the air jab can be shot around entrances and doorways and activate on proximity to any defenders that walk past them. When this happens, they're going to be launched to the side and vulnerable for a few seconds. This is perfect for maintaining map control and shutting down flanks, giving off a loud audio cue when they're hit. I know all of this sounds like a lot. And it is, but don't get intimidated. Just use the information that you get from your drones and don't be scared to make plays. But before you do that, just try to create some pressure. As an attacker, open new lines of sight through floors and walls using your utility. More angles equals more things to worry about equals less cover equals pressure. Just don't forget to keep yourself safe while you do it. Take cover in repel spots and natural obstacles. When they're squirming around and freaking out on the site, that's when you're gonna get a ton of free kills thanks to this simple concept. Once you're done adding pressure to the defense and collecting your kills, you still need to gain map control using your drones and utility. The clock is against you. You can't win the round by baiting the entire time. Basics, people. Once you know where a defender is, use your gadgets to blind them, distract them, or just disorient them while you go in for a kill or a plant. Speaking of plant, sound cover is a great way to confuse defenders when planting or running in for a kill. These loud explosions and gunshots mask the sound of both your footsteps and the diffuser being planted. You know, it also helps knowing the maps. All jokes aside, Siege is a simple game based off positioning and teamwork. The more you understand character intricacies in the maps, the easier it is to control the pace and decision making of each round. So keep practicing, watch pros play the game, take notes, rinse and repeat. In a matter of just weeks, you could climb your way into the ranks of bronze and silver. But to make sure you don't get stuck in those ranks, make sure to go watch this video and don't forget to thank me in the comments.